Are you ready? The Cornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Join Cornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Cornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in and for bringing your energy and sharing with us today. I'm excited to introduce you to our first guest on Stories of Hope today, Tammy Cox. She is a highly skilled trauma specialist who helps women rebuild their lives and relationships through profound emotional healing. With a core emphasis on inner child work, she guides her clients in identifying and healing the unresolved traumas that often lie at the heart of relationship challenges, enabling them to reconnect with their authentic selves and create deeper emotional intimacy with others. This is so awesome. I love the inner child work. Welcome to the show today, Tammy Cox.
Oh, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
So great. I meant to ask you before we came live, the producer said it. You have a great setup. Is that real or is that?
It's real.
It's real. Good.
I mean, it's not alive. This is not a living plant. These are living plants.
Yeah.
I'm very big on energy, so I like to feel my. It's gotta have a really good energy.
Well, the colors are amazing. Yeah, so it's a perfect contrast.
Yeah.
Good for you. Well, nowadays we get to ask these things because with, the rise of AI and all the different things that you can do,
Yeah, I've been deceived. I've been deceived a few times. I'm like, oh my gosh, your background's so cool. And they're like, it's not real.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what people would think. I love, is it the lighting?
Yeah, the
Okay.
lighting.
It's the lighting. Yeah, it's perfect. It's a beautiful setup. So, and it complements you perfectly, which obviously shows how creative you are and how aesthetic energy is also
Yes.
for you. It shows that. So,
Well, I mean, my husband does this setup. Like it wasn't for him. He's the tech guy. He wants to make sure the mic is good. He wants to make sure everything looks really, but that's more his deal. I like to feel aesthetic. I like to put myself together nicely, but he really did this.
well, I'd say you guys are a perfect complement then. That
Yes.
he sets you up, he sets up the environment so that your beauty can shine through.
Yes. Yes. That's
Yay,
what
I
he
love
does.
that.
Yeah.
So you are a trauma specialist. You're helping women heal the emotional core wounding of the past
Uh-huh.
and most of the wounding that happened in childhood, right?
Mhm.
And so how did you get started with this work? Like what brought this on for you?
Ah, like so many of us healers, I needed someone like me, you know. I had a very traumatic childhood, and when I became a wife and a mom, all my triggers that we were talking about earlier, all my triggers started sounding off, and I was not okay. And I went. That's when my journey, we could say, started, where I was searching for, a means to save myself because if I did not find a way to heal, I was going to take my own life because there was no way I could live with that pain another second. So I really, when I found those solutions for myself, it was like, oh, this is the gift I get to give the world. Like everyone needs this. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's big. I can relate because I too had a very difficult childhood. I too healed myself from suicidal ideation. And I too healed my emotional core wounding from the past. And I did a lot of work with the inner child, did a lot of podcasting with the inner child. So I love that you're doing that work because it serves us in this lifetime to heal those woundings so that really we can really become our authentic self
Mm,
and not carry around the pain of the past.
mm. Authenticity is just like the highest frequency. So it's like if we can remove, and you're absolutely right. It's about removing all those old dead skins off the onion so that you can birth your true identity, your authentic self. I don't think we can get to that authentic self until we've really done the inner work. At least I haven't seen it.
Yeah, trauma is huge because the trauma keeps the walls up and it keeps people at a distance from you. Or what else? Does it keep attracting people to you that trigger you so that you can really finally see it? What was your situation?
Well, here's the thing with trauma. What we know about it now is it doesn't even start in this lifetime. It tracks
Yeah.
back 7 generations on both mother and father sides. So on the moment of conception, all of dad's DNA, mom's DNA, all their wounds, everything that they didn't tend to, you inherit. So it's really so much more than just our physical life. And it really creates what we call the personality.
Mhm.
So your personality, unless you've done the inner work, is not something you created by design. It's something that you stumbled into. And because you didn't know you were creating it, you were just taking the old systems from mom and dad and just continuing them on. So it's so much deeper because what I found is I actually started to change my personality as I healed because I realized that so much of what I developed was just the way I survived my childhood, my family of origin. It's how I learned how to fit in, stay alive, and
Survive
exist. Yeah.
and exist. Yeah. And, but not in an authentic way, more of in a proving kind of way to prove your worth, prove your value, prove that you are good enough. And, but never really getting to the root core of beyond that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The authentic you. I think through the healing journey, because I don't know that it ends as we're in this, physical meat suit, but as we begin to heal the outer layers, we find that it's a never-ending onion peel. You get this one off, then there's another, then there's another, then there's another, and it's like we just get to become more and more of the authentic self, but I think it's a constant unfolding. I don't think anything ever truly stays the same because as we become more and more aware, we realize that there's just so many different parts of that which we are.
Yeah. And like you said, it is part of the layering that, it's that peeling of the onion to get to meet your true self, the
Mm-hmm.
highly true self that you are, the advanced spiritual being that you are, that came here in this life to transcend this energy and
Mm-hmm.
clear it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's hard when we're in pain. It
Yeah.
really is hard when we're in pain, wouldn't you say?
Well, it depends on our definition of pain. I don't think pain necessarily has to mean suffering, but yet we put the two together. So, the way I see pain is a teacher from the viewpoint I have now, from the healing already underneath my belt. I see it as a teacher. I don't judge it. I don't resist it, but I go into it.
Hmm.
I go all the way into the center of it because you have to feel it to heal it. So instead of resisting the pain, which I used to just let it sit in my body, and now I go into it and dissolve it. So yes, it's how you see the pain. It could be a teacher. You could use it for so many different wonderful things. Or you could just let it sit inside your body and fester and fester and fester and ignore it and let it have all these alternative side effects. But it doesn't have to be negative.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be negative. Exactly. I think at this stage of the game in our evolution on the planet, I don't know if people can sit on the fence anymore without facing what it is that they came here to face so that they can rise into their authentic self. I don't think, nowadays we really need to do the inner work. We have to do the spiritual work. We have to do the work. We have to heal.
Yeah.
That's why people like you are here offering your gifts to help others be
Hmm.
able to, move beyond what they came in this lifetime to heal. So when you do your personal sessions, how does that work?
Well, what we initially look for is the patterns. Okay. So usually people that are drawn to me, they have some sort of a love issue. Either they're in a marriage that is not doing so well, or they're looking for love and they can't find it. And they've had a series of toxic relationships. Whatever the pattern is, that's what we're looking for. So first we find the pattern, and then we follow that pattern all the way back to where the belief started. Whatever created that pattern was a belief. And so we're looking, one, for the belief. And then two, we're looking to every traumatic event has an emotional tag on it. So we're looking to remove the emotional tag so that it can neutralize the event. It's as if it didn't even happen, or maybe it happened in a movie, but it doesn't personally affect you because you have no emotional tag to it anymore. So that's really the work, is neutralizing the events and pulling the pain out of the body.
Right. And so what do you notice that happens for your clients after you do these sessions? What has happened? What are the results that people can expect?
Well, the very first thing that they always say is, "Oh my gosh, I feel so light. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I feel so light." And I'm like, yeah, it's as if you're carrying a heavy load in your backpack and you took out one heavy brick that you've been carrying your whole life, you took it out. That's why you feel light. And as you do this incrementally, just imagine like your backpack is completely empty. Of course you feel light. So that's the first thing that they notice. And then the second thing that I hear from my clients is, I feel this tremendous peace. Like
Mhm.
the circumstances haven't changed much around me, but I'm not reacting to them. Like they don't have this tie to me. I just feel this calm and this peace. Because what I notice about people nowadays is they're just struggling with anxiety, this
Mhm.
fear of this potential thing, this potential horrible thing coming in this future. And they're living that over and over again. And just, they have no, or it feels like they have no control over their thoughts. So when we start to do this inner work, what they start to notice is they become the creator of their own reality, because they start to be aware of the thoughts and they notice what's coming in, and then they notice when they want to feel a different emotion, how to change it in their thought life. So they become very masterful at creating their reality, because they're now understanding how they're doing it.
Right, because they made room. First of all, they made room.
They made room.
They made room, right? And you're also helping them become self-aware of shifting those patterns, shifting those thought processes, and to put some boundaries down, even the boundaries with our own
Mhm.
self-thinking, right?
Oh,
That's
boundaries are so important.
yeah.
I mean, and then it just comes back to self love. Like, if you were loving and adoring and taking such great care of yourself, would you allow these thoughts? Like, they're not serving you. Let them go. This thing is not serving you. This job is not serving you. This person is not serving you. You must let them go, and you must honor yourself, because like you said so many times, you came here for a great purpose. And what if all those things were just distracting you from what you came here to actually do?
Yeah. Or to be. Right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I think, this is going to be changing over the years to come, especially now. is, uh, it's not so much anymore about what it is that we do per se in doing, the work that we're doing, but it's who we are being with our creativity and how we're expressing our creativity, just by being, and
Yeah.
how much joy that's giving us, and how much joy that is rippling out to others.
Hmm.
Right. But if we're still in trauma, if we still have inner child healing to do, then, I think now, like I said, uh, you know, fence sitting or waiting for things to pass, it's not going to happen because we need all hands on deck.
Yeah. I mean, there are still quite a few people that are sitting on that wall or fence, as you say, and they are extremely uncomfortable because we are now coming into a place, a frequency on the earth where it's going to get more and more uncomfortable to be sitting on the fence. So yeah, I think they're either going to, that's why we're seeing so many people transition off, is because they just can't hang with the frequency. And I get it. If you haven't been on your healing path, and it is going to be very uncomfortable for you. Yes.
I actually even think that, the whole piece of staying in something that isn't good for you and not acting on it out of fear that you're going to be uncomfortable, we have to flip that and really think about that growth happens when we are taking risks, when we are stepping out. It doesn't happen if we don't move, if we stay
Yeah.
stagnant.
It's like contraction versus expansion. You can only be in one at 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 a time, right? So
Yeah,
expansion is growing, it's moving out of your comfort. And the opposite is true, is when we're in fear, we're just like
yeah,
tight, can't
yeah,
grow.
yeah. Now is the time. So how do people find you on social media?
Oh, I'm everywhere.
Go ahead, break it
Uh,
down, like tell us what the.
Instagram, so I could provide you with my link tree, but Instagram, I'm at probably most of the time. Tammy, Tammyn, Cox 7. I don't know why I chose that. That's my Instagram handle. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I also have a podcast myself, Behind the
Oh,
Veil, Anonymous Transformations, where I actually take someone through a process.
oh, nice.
So if you wish to be register to be part of the podcast, then you could actually, I would take you through a process.
Hmm,
And it's wonderful because it is anonymous. So,
nice.
yes.
Good. Well, Tammy, I love the work that you're doing. I love that you are out here helping people transcend and release their trauma so that they can be who they came here to be, really truly who they came here to be. And I mean, and we don't even really know how beautiful these flowers are going to be
Mm.
because we're just at a brand new beginning yet
Mhm. Mhm.
again, right? And so I'm looking forward to seeing what it is that you're going to be doing in the future. And I definitely will tune into your podcast.
Ah, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And thank you so much for having me. It was neat to be a part of your media.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a break on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. We'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Our next guest today is Audrey Davis-Dunning. She's a powerhouse innovator, renowned motivational speaker, educator, and mompreneur. She founded Get Your Goddess, a women's empowerment organization designed to amplify women to the next level in 2015 after redefining what it means to be a goddess in both her personal and professional life. By combining her two loves, African dance and personal development, Audrey has helped transform women all over over of all ages into empowered goddesses destined for greatness. Welcome to the show today, Audrey.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, personal development in African dance,
Yes,
those are your two loves.
yes, that's the dynamic duo, as I like to call them. Yes,
Which came first?
transformative.
Which came first? The chicken or
Person,
the African
ah,
dance or personal development?
Good question. Personal development came first. Personal development came first, and I was always seeking how I can actualize myself and maximize my potential, my gifts, and live the biggest and fullest life ever. So I've always been a student of personal development. And then the summer of 1998, I call it the summer of heartbreak. I had my little heart broken and I was in a little funk. And a good friend of mine who knew I was a dancer, because I did other forms of dance, said, "This is enough," and dragged me to an African dance class. And I mean, the minute I stepped in there with the live music and seeing who would become my most prominent African dance teacher and mentor, and seeing all the beautiful ladies in their African garb,
Yeah.
that was it. Life changing, never the same ever again.
So, it was your person. It was first your heartbreak, and that then you also had to go into personal development,
Yeah,
right?
well,
Because
it's
your
funny.
heartbreak. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was always a student of personal development, and life was moving along great as life does, ebbs and flows. And then the heartbreak came, and I was
Mhm.
stuck a little bit. And a good friend said, I have an inkling what's going to get her unstuck, and dragged me to the African dance class. And that not only healed my heart, it literally transformed my life. I was not the same woman ever since I discovered traditional West African dance.
Do you think that it had a lot to do with because you were already in the awareness that
Mhm.
you love personal development? Like me, I want to personally develop. I want to get better. I want to heal. I want to all the things that your personal development, talks about, what it is, defining. And so, do you think that with that consciousness, that awareness, then you go into the dance? So then basically, you are like dancing out your issues.
Yeah, it's so funny because I didn't expect that to happen,
Mm,
but the power of the music, the power of the ancient steps, because remember, these steps are tied to the African culture, they're
yeah.
tied to a long tradition, and it just awakened something in me. So it helped activate all of those pieces in me that I had been working on in a way that I just could not anticipate.
Wow. So now, I mean, you're here today to inspire our audience to into African dance. That's what you're inspiring us to do. I just wrote it.
Absolutely.
I just wrote it down for myself too. Is one of the things that is important for me this year in my theme
Mhm.
for the year is that I just want to have more fun. That's my theme. I've been personally developing for years and years and years. And actually, like now I just want to have fun. I want to live. You know
That's
what I'm
it.
saying?
That's it. One of my favorite sayings is African dance will give you life. It will give you life. And when I say give you life, it gives you joy, it gives you energy, it gives you fun. And one of the most powerful things that occurred for me and occurs for a lot of ladies when I pointed out to them is African dance had me begin to appreciate my body for what it could do as opposed to what it looked like. Revolutionary, revolutionary. So it was about how powerful I am and how I can kick and do these contractions and jump and leap. And I wasn't so caught up in what size am I? That's revolutionary for a lot of women because you know how limiting and boxed in that can make us. So that was so freeing, so
Yeah.
freeing.
That's what I was
Yeah,
about to say. It sounds really free. And I really can see how, this year there's so much, people are shedding, so many things people are releasing and letting go that the dance will really support you in, making those shifts like it supported you to heal. So do people dance in person or online? How does that work?
Wow, I actually do both because I want entry points for everyone to come and get some of this deliciousness. So I do a free online class every month. It's on the 17th of every month, and I call it African Joy, and I call it my kiss to the community because I want to have at least one avenue that no matter where you are, whether you have a dime in your pocket or not, you can jump online and we dance and prance for an hour. And boy, do you have fun. And then not only do you have fun, I teach. I'm an educator by trade. So I'm about teaching the history. So you know the history of the dance and the rhythm and the people in Africa who did it and when they did that dance. Because there's different types of African dance. There's harvest dance, there's warrior dances, there's courtship dances that are fun and flirty. So any kind of energy that you really want to play with that day, African dance can take you there.
So good. I just want to say, so you said on the 17th of the month,
Uh,
it's a free class. What time is that class?
I always do that class 17th of every month from 7:30 to 8:30. And if
What
you go
is
to my
what time zone?
oh yes, good point. Eastern Standard. Eastern Standard.
Okay, Eastern Standard. So I don't know. Our producer, Nat, if you could pull up her, were you showing it? Okay, great. That would be great. Pulling up that website showing that. Excellent, Nat. You're so great. Thank you
Fantastic.
so much.
Thank you, Nat. Yes.
Yes. I'm going to join you. I'm
Please join me. You'll
I'm
love
going to
it.
do it. I'm going to do it, you know. So definitely want to get excited about this dancing.
Yeah.
And then what do you recommend for people? Because I also heard you say earlier about the stage, being on a stage. So
Oh,
how do people find African dance in their communities?
yeah. Well, I always if you sign up for my email newsletter, I make it a point not only to advertise my classes, I advertise other African dance classes in the area, shows that are coming up, good references, or if there's a good YouTube piece, I might throw it in there. So, like I said, I'm about the education portion as well. So, I'm a pretty good source. I'm a pretty good source. But then, of course, independently on YouTube, you can look and find things. And then I hope to arouse people's curiosity. And if they're not in my area, they might start actively seeking African dance in their area. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Well, I love it because I love your passion about it, and I love how passionate you are because that's very infectious. And again, it's such a great way to heal and completely step into your power and expression,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Now, is the African dance, is it men and women? Is it
Yes.
is it just African people?
No. I have students from Germany, China, uh, every kind of person is in my class, and I love it. And I'm so proud to share that I also do African dance with people who are in wheelchairs, who
Mm.
have, you know, different types of learning styles. So I have been so proud that I've been able to share this ancient art with all kinds of people. So when I say there's a place for everyone in African dance, I truly mean it. There's a gentleman who comes to my online class, and if you join me, I'm sure you'll see him. He's literally on a crutch, and he dances with a crutch, and he's in it, and he's asking questions, and he's a regular. So it is for everyone, men, women, young, old, all races. And I'm so proud that my students, they hang on and they become regulars because I make it fun, I make it informative. Every class is a little different. And even though we're not in the same room, I make it like we're in the same room. I'm all in the camera. I'm calling on people. Sometimes I highlight somebody, say, hey, you are killing that step. And I bring them on stage with me online. So I really make people feel at ease and comfortable, and it's a super safe space, which is important.
It sounds like a very unifying project. also, meaning that an activity is a better word, a unifying
Yeah.
activity with right now, with the way the state of the world is, right? With everything being so divided and all the things, this energy of this service that you're providing sounds like very unifying, very loving, very natural, very primal.
It is. And one of the things I tell folks that once I dance with you, even once, we're dance sisters for life or dance brothers for life. So I'll be, hey, dance sister. Hey. And then people start doing the same thing and referring to each other as dance sisters and dance brothers. So it is very loving, very unifying. Sometimes I'll teach a little African song and we'll sing together. So you never know what I'm gonna pull out, and they just love it. And I love it. And it works. It
It's
works.
so good. I'm in. So even, I'm in. I'm going to put this on my calendar every month on the 17th, and I'm going to come and
Yes.
join you. And I'm also going to look more too to see if I can find some
Yes.
places in the Seattle area here to find. I'm sure I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just have that be a part of your life. And once, like I said, once the African dance bug bites you, you're like, oh, I'm in it for life. It's just so delicious. It's so delicious and wonderful.
That's so good. I want to let the audience know how they can find you on social media. Like, what are the handles? What's your website? Even tell people where to sign up for your newsletter.
Yes. All right. So you can go to Get Your Goddess. Like, Get Your Goddess. Get Your
Get,
Goddess. I believe all women are goddesses,
mm.
period. You don't have to ask anyone. You are a goddess. So go to getyourgoddess.com and you'll see my free class. You'll see how to get my book. I wrote a book on African dance called KUCHEZA.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's a really good introductory piece. KUCHEZA, the basics, beauty, and power of African dance. So it's a little history. There's a glossary in the back. There's information about costuming. There's pictures. People really enjoy it. It's a really fun, easy read, yet very informative if you're beginning your African dance journey. So
Where can they get the book on Amazon
oh,
or?
yes, you can get it on Amazon. And if you go to getyourgoddess.com, it's available there as well. And I also have some online self-study course. Like if you want me anytime at your fingertips, 24/7, I have an online course that you can purchase at my website. And the people call it Audrey 24/7. Whenever I want a little bit of Audrey, I just click it on and go for it.
That's so
So
good.
yeah.
That's so good. Did you give us all the handles?
Yes. Oh, Facebook, Get Your Goddess. Instagram, Get Your Goddess. That's how you'll find me. And
Yeah.
even my email, getyourgoddess@gmail.com. I answer emails. I answer emails. Yes.
That's awesome. I love that so much, what you're doing. And that must bring you so much passion, so much joy.
It really does. It really does. Because no matter what's happening in the world, what's ever happening in your personal life, once you hit that dance floor, it's
Yeah.
all behind you. It's all behind you. And then when you leave the dance floor, you feel like you're ready to face anything. You can roll
Right.
your sleeves up and be like, okay, I can jump back in the race.
Now, how long have you been doing this again?
Oh my goodness, I've been teaching and performing traditional West African dance for well over 25 years.
Mm.
Well over 25 years. And I do dance residencies in schools. I have private clients. I do in studio classes, I do online classes, I do performances at cultural events, private events. So, yeah, African dance has really blessed my life in ways I couldn't even fathom. The rooms it has put me in, amazing. Yeah.
That's so fun. It sounds so fun. I look forward to learning from you and dancing with you. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
it
so
will be
glad
my
you came on the
honor.
show, Audrey. It's wonderful to meet you.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to take a break on the Cornelia Stephanie Show, everyone. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. It's Cornelia Stephanie, and I have with me Amy Deanne. Welcome back to the show, Amy.
Thanks so much. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
I want to let the audience know, give a little background about your bio. You have dedicated your earlier years to being a mom and a wife, and after facing separation and ultimately a divorce, after 29 years of marriage, you realized for the first time that you didn't know who you were. And like many other mothers, you had put your own wants and needs aside so that you can raise your children. Now that your children are adults and no longer depending on you as they once did, you found yourself on a unique self-discovery journey. And while you're continuing your career in corporate America, you also sought an outlet for your creativity and you started a side business called Resilient. Initially, you was created as a craft venture. Resilient has evolved into something much more meaningful. You are also an author of a contributing chapter to the Amazon best-selling book called Shine Your Light. And that was the cherry on the top of your healing journey. And now you focus on connecting with women across multiple platforms, empowering them to discover their truest selves. You exemplify the idea that you can achieve anything that you set your mind to, which is what you're continuously modeling to us, right?
I am certainly working on it.
You keep showing up and you keep inspiring us with your series right now. This is what we're doing with this podcast series. You've been on, today is the fifth one in this series, and it's called Finding Your Truest You. An authentic guide. No, it's a guide to becoming your authentic self, right?
Yes.
And then let's talk about the last five. So what's today's?
Today is talking about staying the course. So each one of these actually spell out the truest you. So the first one that we talked about was trusting yourself, trusting your gut instincts, trusting the little voice in your head. The second one we talked about, the R, was recognizing that everyone's journey is different. We're not on the same path. We're all going to take different paths. And so everyone's journey is different. The third one was unlearning a negative mindset. Get out of the stinking thinking, get on a positive track. And last week, of course, number 4 was embracing your authenticity. So, which I really, really love, because that's kind of the whole premise behind this whole thing. So today is stay in the course.
Stay in the course. And so tell us a little bit more about staying the course. What does that mean?
So it means not giving up. You're staying in there. You are continuing to take that journey that you were meant to take. And it's really hard not to give up. Things get hard. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have those roadblocks. You're going to have those things that you want to throw up your hands, throw in the towel. And that's my whole premise behind this chapter and behind this discussion is staying the course. It's imperative that you stay on your journey and keep progressing forward. Don't give up.
Right. Don't give up. A lot of people, they give up right before the miracle happens, so to speak, or they don't see the results fast enough. And so they throw in the towel and they give up. And so it's really important to stay the course. And we also need the little reminders. So, do you have a practice of something that you do to stay the course, to remind yourself when things get hard? Or do you have people in place that you call? Do you have a coach in place, or do you have what is it that you do that helps you stay on course?
All of the above, actually. One of the things that's great is to set smaller goals for yourself. Don't just look at, I want to get from this point to this point. You don't jump from A to Z. You want to set smaller goals for yourself. So something that's attainable, something that's achievable, something you can reward yourself with, whether it's, okay, I have gone this length of time and I am okay with being alone. I've spent my time alone. I'm, filling my time. I'm learning to love myself. I'm enjoying being alone, or things like that. So set yourself little small goals. And that's one of the ways that I kept going and reward yourself. It's like, all right, I have not reached out to anybody. I have not done this or done that. I've enjoyed the quiet. I've enjoyed the still. That was one of the things that really, it was hard for me to get used to, but that helped me in my progress. And staying the course means, doing those uncomfortable things, doing those things that build resilience. So
Isn't that interesting? We think it's uncomfortable to be by ourselves and be still,
right? Well,
right?
especially when you're coming from the environment of running around with your kids and cooking dinner and doing all of the things that you would do as a wife and a mom and the things that I did for 29 years. It's like, it is weird. It feels weird when you're like, okay, I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to be still. I don't even know. I don't know how to do this. And I didn't know how to do it.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I guess yeah, I can't relate to that. So that's why I'm going, but I guess coming for somebody, that's coming from your perspective of what you had to deal with, I guess I can see that, you're running around doing all these things and then all of a sudden you don't have that anymore. And it's like, now, yeah, it's just me.
It was frightening at first, but
Mhm.
it was good to stay the course and keep on and keep on and keep on doing that thing. So eventually I enjoyed it. Eventually I liked that time.
So earlier when you were telling us about, how we started of all the parts that we've covered so far, like today's part 5, it feels to me like every single one of them of what you talked about is like um a practice in itself. So like even, staying the course for 21 days, staying the course for, a practice like putting a time frame around it and then to kind of revalue, even embracing your authenticity. If you can embrace your authenticity for 21 days, right? They say it takes 21 days to change a habit. I think that all, sounds like a good thing to do. What do you think?
I agree. I agree that you're exactly right when they talk about taking a certain amount of time to build a habit because um, it's easy to give up. It's easy to not stay the course. It's easy to say, okay, well, for 2 days I've sat in silence after work. I don't like this. I'm going to give up. And it was. I did try to give up a few times. I'm like, all right, I'm calling. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to go sit in a bar. I'm going to go do this or do that. So I'm not listening to the silence.
Yeah, and I think this is so important in really finding your truth too. Even if you're practicing, getting off social media for a while, getting off the scrolling, really listening to that still voice within and building that, So yeah, it can be hard. It
It
can be
was, and it
hard
was
because
frightening.
yeah. Yeah, it can be hard because, it's like, yeah, leave that space empty and see how you feel inspired to move, right? What are you feeling called to do, on your own?
That's the best way to build confidence. That's the best way to figure out what you like. That's the best way to find your truest you is to sit with yourself, sit in that silence, listen to that small voice, trust your feelings and your gut instincts. And so it's kind of all of a combination of everything. But staying the course is important because if you stop, you kind of have to start all over. It's kind of like going to the gym. You're working out and those first few days, your muscles hurt so bad. You're like, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm not doing this, but you got to keep on, got to keep going and keep going. And then eventually it's easier. It's a little easier and it's a little easier. And then you form that habit and then you want to go to the gym regularly. So it's very similar.
Yeah, that's why I think, having like a 21-day goal or something like, for each part that you're teaching here, that you're inspiring is, to do that because it really does, in about 3 weeks, if you go to the gym for 3 weeks, in about 3 weeks, you're going to start noticing a few changes. You're going to start seeing it. So you're going to start feeling better. But like you said, those first couple times, it's going to be difficult. But, it's like become your own hero and don't give up on yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and now is the time. So how is your life these days? Being a busy, you're still working for a corporate, you're also writing and you're doing, you've got a ranch farm kind of place, right? That you're tending to, and you've got a beautiful relationship. So how is your life unfolding with all these things?
Well, I do find myself still filling all of those hours and moments and whatnot. And I've learned, especially during the week, because I only typically go and visit my boyfriend over the weekend. I learned during the week, and this is probably the best time for me. You kind of have to pick and choose your time depending on your schedule. But during the week, after I come home, after I eat with my mom, then I spend time in my room. I have a devotional, I journal, I spend time quiet. I read whatever book that I might be reading at the time. And so I really still try to have that practice, even though I do have a lot going on and I do have a lot of irons in the fire and I am trying to accomplish a lot. It's still important to do that. It's still important to keep that practice.
Yeah, it's kind of like a self, it's like a relationship with the self that is primary. And it's a loving devotional, like you said. And I think that even if couples had that in their relationships, even couples that were living together in one place, it's nice to have your own room and go,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
and have that private time so that you can really listen to yourself and nurture yourself, because what your partner may want to do, it's just different when you're by yourself.
It is. It is very different. But, we do a great job when I visit with my boyfriend over the weekend. We do a great job, especially during football season. I will spend some time watching some sports with him. And then if it's not something I want to do, he's doing his thing. I go into another room and I'm working on a series that I'm going through, whether it's Outlander or whatever. So I'm doing my thing. Whether I'm sitting in the quiet, I'm watching my movie, watching my series, we still spend that time away from each other, not connected at the moment, doing our own thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes he goes into his room and really jams on his guitar. And so that gives him an opportunity to go do his thing, something he enjoys doing. He can fill his soul with music because he's really into that. And so it's good. It's good to have those things even when you are together.
Well, I think, what you discovered through your journey is you discovered yourself, you connected with yourself, and now you're bringing that connected self to all the people that you relate with, including your partner,
Yes.
right?
And it's so
So,
much healthier.
yeah. So that is, it sounds wonderful the way that you guys are doing it. And it's kind of nice to, um, see each other on the weekends. You know, it seems great. What do you want to say to the audience today in staying the course?
In staying the course, cut yourself some slack, first of all. Set up little small milestones so that you can accomplish things little bites at a time, so you're not biting off more that you can chew. And the one thing that I didn't say is get an accountability partner. Get someone who you can be accountable to, that will hold you accountable to. When you want to give up, they're going to say, oh, no, you're not. No. They will actually, I had a couple of those during my journey and it was great. My cousin was one and it was so good. She's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And she was, it was very good for me to vent to her or use her as my accountability partner because she didn't cut me any slack.
Yeah. And, I'll say this is if you need a coach, which sometimes, we all need coaches in various different things, you get a coach and you get somebody to coach you, and you pay that person to, support you and keep it professional as well. So there's all kinds of ways, but the bottom line is this is your life. You came here to, discover your truest you. And now is the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Amy, let's tell everyone how they can find you on social media.
My-resilient-journey.com is my website. And you can check out previous podcast interviews with you. The previous ones are out there. And also on Instagram and Facebook, it's AMEYDEANNE or Resilient TX.
Excellent. Well, I'm so loving how the progression is moving forward. I hope that you're feeling the same way.
I do. I'm so excited.
It's so great. And I hope that you, the beloved audience, are loving it as well. Thank you so much for listening and tuning into the Cornelia Stephanie Show. We wish you a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Cornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Cornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Cornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at corneliastephanie.com.